Hello YouTube. I'm here today to clean my Manly City. I have to say that in the last 2 years I have used this knife more than any other knife I own, with the exception of my chef knives in the kitchen. This has been a brilliant knife. For those of you who may have seen another one of my Manly videos, this one's in 14 C28N, and that was a conscious choice that I made because I wanted rust resistance. I use this knife for my business, and I ship and receive a lot. Some of my air freight shipments come on pallets, and whenever a pallet is due to arrive, it starts to rain. I live here in the UK, and the weather is a factor. So this knife had to be rust resistant, and it has been. So as you can see, I've used some WD-40 to take off the bulk of the glue. I've cut a lot of tape with this, nylon strapping, cardboard. I've made boxes, disassembled boxes. I've done a little bit of trimming of wood, nothing too serious. This is not my shop knife. Again, it's a great knife. It fits well in my hand, which is the reason I like it. It's got a very positive feel. You know you're holding it. The G10 scales are slightly rough, which is really nice because they provide a very positive feeling so that you can locate your hand on a repeatable basis. The knife has been very safe. I feel completely confident with it. It's just really good. The jimping here is sharp, but it is not rough on your thumb. I'm left-handed, as you can see, so I've switched the belt clip around. The action's nice. Now, this knife is locking, which here in the UK, you cannot carry a locking knife in public. I also own a wasp to deal with that. Not that I carry a knife in public, but this one really never leaves my office. It is my work knife. I don't use it in the shop because I was trying to prolong the blade. I haven't sharpened it ever. This was out of the box. I've used it multiple times a day for 2 years. It's still got some edge, but it is not anywhere near as sharp as it was when it was new. So I'm quickly going to take it apart, not completely, but mostly. I want to clean it, lube it, and then sharpen it. Now, the reason I'm sharpening it last is because this knife, when it is sharp, is extremely sharp, and I don't want to clean it while it's sharp, if you know what I mean, because I think it just adds some risk. This is quite a slicing knife, and it gets used for everything here in the shop, or sorry, in the office. To take it apart, you need a 1.5 and a 2 millimeter hex. Now, I'm going to gently remove this piece of stainless, and I don't want to bend anything, so I'm trying to be as careful as I can while I'm doing this. I think once every couple of years, whether it needs it or not, is fine. Okay, that's going to be face down, that's face up. have a locking mechanism here. I'm going to just, this is a very snug fit. As you can imagine, it doesn't really want to come off of there. I'm taking the spring pressure off. And you can see why I'm not doing this with a knife sharp. Okay, I'm going to take this bronze washer off. I'm going to try and remove the blade very carefully. Okay, now there's another bronze washer which I'm not really going to touch. I'm going to leave it where it is because again I'm cleaning this. I'm not necessarily dissecting it. This is right from the factory, and it looks to me like they've used some sort of moly grease, which is perfectly fine. I can see that that has not necessarily held up as well as I want, but you get the idea. Okay, I'm going to pop this. I don't want to, but I'm going to take a little bit of the old grease off of this piece, and I'm going to try and put it back. Okay, this is actually quite a snug fit. What do we got happening here? I've got a blade. I'm going to take the old grease off. Okay, I'd say that's quite good. Might as well look at the jimping while I'm here. Okay. Now I'm going to use a dab of moly grease here. I don't think it needs a lot. The knife has a smooth action and it doesn't really need a lot. I might just put one dab there in the pivot and a little bit there, and I'm going to call it a day. So let's get this back. Locking spring. Now that's got to be flat. Let's get this. Okay, quite happy with that. Now let's have a look at this bronze washer. These are very delicate, they're quite thin. So let's just put that there. Take a little of the excess off. I'm going to leave that as is. That's the slight wear mark. Now let's put this back. Now let's make sure that we've got proper seating. And we've got our scale. Okay, that has gone back. So let's put a couple of screws in. I think this is the key, but again, I'm trying to be careful here. I've seen some people use Torx on the internet to disassemble these, but they're not actually Torx, they're good old-fashioned hex. And Manly give you hex keys when you buy the knife. they come shipped. And I would use them, but they're in the desk drawer in a plastic bag, so I'm using my good old-fashioned Chapman set from back in the day. Let's just get everything seated back where it needs to be. Just check the torque. Again, these are small fasteners going into thin stainless. I don't want to overdo it. So let's test it. I can tell you it's better. That knife is very smooth. Nice. Okay. All right. Now, the real problem with this knife was not the action, although I really wanted to get that glue off the blade. It's the dull blade. From what I can see, and you probably can't see this, it appears that this edge has rolled. Now, Manley say on the certificate that comes with the knife 15 degrees. So let's set this up on the Tormek machine. We have to put it in the jig and get the horizontal support in the right orientation, and we'll go from there. So let's go sharpen this. I'm back at the Tormek. Now, I've chewed the wheel, and I have not touched the corners because I want them sharp. There's a very small detail here. It's I believe it's called the sharpening choil. But what I want is to have a little gap so I don't touch the corners. And I've got that on both sides. I've got the wheel set to fine. Now I've set up an angle with the Angle Master. I don't use this very often on knives because I prefer this Tormek knife jig as it's a little easier to use. Now, my wheel, I've just trued it up. It's down to 245 millimeters. So I've set the jig for the Angle Master to 245. Now I've set as closely as I can, and I'm just double checking now, the angle to 15 degrees, as that's the Tormek factory angle for this knife. I'm going to do a manual test using Sharpie, and I could see that I'm a little bit low. I could come down, and I will, maybe half a turn. And I'm going to flip it to the other side and do another sanity check. And again, I'm not using any power here. That's really, really nice. Now let's hope I don't take off too much of that tape. There's not a lot of room here. But again, I'm going to focus on smoothness. This wheel is as smooth as I can get it. So it's approximately 1,000 grit. I'm going to use my standard method of nosedive. And I'm going to stop here and go back in one pass. So here we go. Now this is quite a smooth stone. And believe it or not, this is a very tough steel. Okay, we have a little bit more work to do, but we're pretty close. I'm not taking a lot of metal off. I don't really want to do that. I'm just trying to touch up this edge. Okay, I'm going to make another pass. And stop just before I hit the choil. Okay, I'm going to reverse my way out of here. I'm going to flip. This is quite a short knife, and I'm trying to be as careful as I can. Okay. I'm liking that. I'm gonna do this, a pass on this side, and then I'm gonna check for a burr. Whoa. Now this steel is deceptively tough. Okay. I'm just starting to get a burr here. I'm going to make a couple more passes. Trying to focus on smoothness and evenness. I'm not trying to remove a ton of metal. I'm trying to keep the factory edge profile, not reprofiling the knife. What I'm seeing on both sides is it needs a little bit more work right here and on the flip side. So I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to make another pass. Light pressure, light pressure, light pressure, light pressure. Then when I get down here, I'm going to give it a bit more pressure. Going to back away and lighten up. Going to do the same on the other side. Light pressure, light pressure, light pressure. Focus a bit more here. All right. Just want to spend a second and double check that. I need to do a little bit more work right here. I think the edge is almost where I want, but again, it's probably due to our sharpening angle or the angle of the jig. There's a little less going on back here, so I'd like to correct that if possible. As far as a burr goes, not feeling anything on that side, and we have a substantial burr on this side, and it stops about there. So let's do one more quick pass with the focus. Okay, I'm going to start. I'm just going to do my regular nosedive technique. I know Tormek recommends starting with the heel, but I find it very hard to place a wide object evenly on the wheel, whereas with the tip I find that I have a little bit more control. Okay, it looks like I could be a little bit more even here. I have that pretty much where I want it, so it's this one side, and it just happens to be the side with the burr on it. So in theory, we make one light pass and the burr should flip up to this side. That's the theory. Here we go. Very light pressure, light pressure, light pressure. Okay, I'm increasing the pressure. Okay, you can see from the fluff being caught off the cloth that we've got our burr. I don't know if you can hear that, but the burr is here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip the Tormek. I'm going to lower the water tray. Not that it matters. I'm going to flip to here. I'm going to check my camera angle because I know it'll be wrong. Oh, it's not too bad. Now, the size on this wheel is significantly smaller. Tormek have done a great job of marking this. Wow, 200. Okay, I'm just going to do a sanity check. I think that's 200. No, it is about 220. Okay, set for 220. Okay, and let's see what our angle is. I want to hone at the same angle that I've ground. I can tell you right now that we're way up high. We don't want that, so we're going to come down. That might be too much. Nope. Got to go up. That was too much. No, we've got to come down. Okay, I see how this is going. Down a little bit more. Down a little bit more. Getting close. Getting much closer. There's probably another way to do this. No, we want more. Okay, it's telling me more. I don't know if that makes too much sense. Okay, double check. Yeah, 220, 15 degrees, just a little bit more according to the jig. And again, that's our benchmark. Okay, I think we're going to go with that. Yeah, very close. Okay, now we're doing edge trailing, of course, on the leather wheel. We sharpened edge leading on the stone. Okay, we've got the burr this side, so we're going to continue. I'm going to do a flip side pass. very carefully take a little bit of that off. Make another pass. And I'm going to make one more for completeness on this side. And I'm going to check to see that we got that burr off. Okay, power down. Remove as much of the paste as we can. Okay, I'm just going to take an object. I'm going to rub it on this edge. Okay, it's a bit crackly right here, so I'm going to do a little bit more. Double check it. Okay. Some people use their nails. I could do that. I don't really want to. I don't trust myself. I'm going to use I'm happy with that. Okay, burr is gone. Let's go and check it for sharpness. Now if we have to tune it up, we can. Give me a second. Okay, we're back. Got a magazine. It's thin newsprint. No, I don't usually cut paper, but again, this knife mostly cuts paper. So whatever we did, it worked. Now, I'm going to put this knife back in service because it's kind of sharp. Can I do better? Oh, probably. But again, this is very basic. We sharpened it on the Tormek in a few minutes, and we used precision honing to match the grinding angle, and just used the Tormek leather wheel. Took us a couple of minutes to fiddle with the jig, but it was worth it. Now, I suspect maybe in another video I'm going to best test this, and I'm going to test some various strops on it. I've got some 2.5 micron diamond, and I've got 1 micron diamond, and I've got plain leather. So that is another day, I think, YouTube. If you want me to get on that, please comment. But other than that, I'm really happy with this. As far as I'm concerned, it's being restored to sharpness as new, or at least as functional sharpness. Cleaning and greasing, it's really made a difference to the slickness of the action. It's got that fidget factor for those of you who like to open them a lot. All we did was we put a couple of dabs of graphite grease and took the old dry grease off. I'm very pleased with that. We got the blade sharp, we got it clean. I'd say we're ready to go. Am I going to leave it 2 years in between sharpenings? Probably not. And what I might do, if I can perfect the technique, is try regular stropping. But anyway, that is another exercise. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you watching this. Talk to you later.